What if your current idea of success is actually what's holding you back from achieving the goals that you've been setting for yourself? Sometimes the success we want requires a whole new set of rules, and the way we're using our belief systems and our ideas and even the strategies we're using are actually getting in the way. Hi, I'm Melanie Benson. I'm a profit amplifier for expertpreneurs and service professionals and online business owners who want to shatter their current earning limits and impact more people in the process. And I want to talk about something today that might actually be a little surprising that it's my profit amplifier secret, but it's actually one of the things that will help you achieve more in an accelerated way. And it has to do with what's up here. It has to do with what's in your mindset. It has to do with the way your beliefs are structured. I've noticed lately that a lot of people that I talk to about coaching or are reaching out to me about their big, bold vision, they've got a movement they want to accomplish, that some of the drivers are changing. People are tired of watching other people suffer and struggle. And there's like this whole new movement of people who want to help others have a more authentic and aligned existence, especially when it's on this pursuit of success. And I'm just curious, do you feel that way too? Like maybe something's been missing, or you've been chasing success all wrong. I like this idea that maybe you've put your ladder on someone else's wall and you've climbed to the top of it and you're like, this is not the view I thought I was gonna have. I was coaching a woman many years ago who'd been following a very famous mentor, somebody in the speaking world. And when she met me, it was like this radical shift in mindset occurred for her, because I was lifestyle driven and the previous mentor was more like, hey, grind it out, hustle, don't sleep. And we had very different philosophies about achieving success. And she's like, I can't sustain that other model. Like, I need something that's more integrated. And it was a huge aha for her when she realized that her priorities and values couldn't be met with the business mentor that she'd been working with up to that point. And she was burning out. She was exhausted. She was feeling a bit disillusioned. She's like, how do I actually have a great marriage and have a life that I love if this is the way it's going to be? So here's some radical honesty. If you've been chasing the dream and you're a high achiever by nature, and it's like you're the grind and hustle model, you might find at a certain point that you cannot sustain that anymore, and that your ideas about what success is supposed to be are crumbling. And what you're going to be left with is you've got to choose a more aligned, authentic model for you. And I find that people who have this belief system, maybe that you grew up with, or maybe your parents demonstrated for you over the years, that if you want more success, you have to work harder, you have to work more, you've got to have millions of dollars in the bank, you have to have a big company with lots of employees, you have to dominate your niche. That might not be your thing, but yet you've been conditioned to believe that's what it's supposed to look like. And now you're feeling super disillusioned because you're thinking, I don't want to have to work that hard. I don't want to sacrifice time with my family and friends, or the things that feel important to you, you feel like you have to sacrifice and tuck them away for a later date in order to have the success that that society is conditioning us to say we have to have. For others, I see that, their belief of I either have to do it myself, or it has to be this certain way. The conditions in which we are operating are dictating our success. The conditions that we're building our model from, think of it like the conditions create a box. I'm making a circle, but you get the point, a box, right? And that is the paradigm that you're building your business from. And if that paradigm isn't actually supporting the things that are truly most important to you, you will either reject it, you will find that you're procrastinating, you'll hold yourself back, or you'll just dismiss it and go, that's not my thing, I don't want that. And you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because you're thinking, if it's not that and I don't know what it is, I'm not going to do any of it. So what I want to share with you today is a little bit of my own journey around this and the work that I'm doing in my Leaders Mastermind and with people that Own Your Bold, because I feel like it's time to boldly shift the model. It's time to take a big, bold stand for what you really want. And instead of like, this is the, like, we want to move away from. We want to move away from basing our definition of success on what you see others doing, blindly following the advice of mentors or influencers, but not really aligning it back with what your truth is. And part of that is about not really being clear about what is important to you. Like, do you really know what your priorities and what your values are? And are you building your business to serve those? And are those values and priorities aligned with what is going to get you the success that your soul is calling you to step into? And I feel like many people are still forcing themselves to make money with a model that feels out of sync with who they really want to be and what they really want to do. And they're dismissing it because the outside world is not validating them. And it's, you know, let's face it, those models aren't performing well because you're not in love with it. You're not feeling connected to it. You know, I've been working with a woman in my leaders mastermind who, she's kind of seen where a lot of these different models are supposed to be, and none of them feel like her. And so in the past, she was just dismissing them. She's like, well, that's not me. So instead of finding her model, she just disconnected. And so in my experience, having coached thousands and thousands of expertpreneurs and entrepreneurs and online business owners, coaches, consultants, like you name it, all these different types of service professionals, you have to define success on your terms. And that might mean you need a new set of rules. You need to do what lights you up. You need to do what gets you fired up and what fuels you. And if there's not a model out there that does that, then you need to let the model emerge that's supposed to be done. Look, there's a lot of value in following someone else's model to a certain point. At a certain point, you got to find what works for you. Like, following other people's models will get you started, but they're not going to take you where you need to go next. That's where you need the authenticity, you need the alignment. And some people can do that right out of the gate. Awesome, if that's you. Some people, they need to actually like find their own way. Like, they have to, like, okay, so there's two paths. You find your own way right out of the gate and you just do what lights you up, and you trust that, and that takes a certain kind of courage and boldness, which great if you can do that. Or you kind of follow a pre-constructed path, get the cookie cutter, they'll get you off the ground, and then you have to, at some point, allow that to be replaced with your model, what your most authentically aligned version. It might be a version of that, and it might be completely radically different. I've been having some of the most interesting conversations with some of the influencers and thought leaders in the podcasting space, and who are transformational leaders out there in the world. And there's this feeling, there's this like evolution of the old model's broken. We don't know what the new model is yet. And everybody's like kind of up in arms going like, how do we find the new model? Look, we don't find the new model by like just trying to force ourselves to keep working the model. We figure it out by going deep inside and allowing what's unique and what serves our community the best and lights a fire in the people that we're meant to serve. We got to get them into action if you want to change the model. And I mean the model, I mean like the whole digital marketing model. So here's some things to look at for you. If you're feeling called to this, like, yeah, Melanie, you're speaking my language. I feel like, this, cookie cutter thing is broken. Like, I don't want to do what everybody else does. I want to be unique, but what I've been trying isn't working. Let's go back to some basics for a minute. First of all, you got to actually know what's important. Do you know what your priorities and your values are? And are you designing your business to support that or not? Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, do you have really define success on your terms? Like, do you know what success will feel like when you really honor who you are, what your path is about, what you are called to do in this world? Right? Like, don't let yourself get locked into a business model just because that's what everybody else is doing. And don't let it get yourself trapped into a business model that sacrifices what's important to you. Is your family important and it's got to serve your family first? Great. Go into it with that. Is your lifestyle important and you want to be able to travel, or you want to have certain number of days off? Like, when I started my business, 18 months in, I realized, oh my gosh, I am just as busy as I ever was in corporate, if not more. And I had this kind of come to, like, I'm not gonna say, so I'm not gonna use that old term because it might offend somebody. I had like a kind of a 2x4 to the head of, look, you just recreated what you already knew. That's what we do. So I set a goal for myself. This was the boldest thing I knew how to do. And that was, I will have a 6-figure plus business where I work 30 hours a week or less. I did not know how to do it. I did not have clarity. I did not have a roadmap. I just decided. And I think that's what's missing sometimes is we don't decide. We wait to see what out here has to happen to give us what we want inside. You need to drive that bus. You need to make a stand. Be bold. Claim it. Okay, and that's my next insight for you. Claim your bold leap. Don't wait for the information to like show up magically and someone to map the whole thing out. It doesn't work that way. You have to claim it. You have to decide. Sometimes you need to hire a mentor or, get into some kind of a coaching program. You're welcome to join us and Own Your Bold Inner Circle. But you need to take a leap of faith. But it starts with knowing what's important to you and then committing to finding a way for that to work. This is what I call, when I say own your bold, this is what I mean. Like, you make the bold claim and then you own, like, manifesting that, clarifying a path, trusting that the steps are going to be revealed along the way. It's not all going to be there when you start. You might want to take my free Own Your Bold Challenge at ownyourboldchallenge.com. It'll really, really help with some steps along the way to make a decision, to start thinking very differently. And so how do I create a new set of rules? Like, how do I create a business model that's never been done before? How do I create success that everyone says you can't do? You have to claim it. You have to commit to it 100%. And then you got to build up the muscles where you're weak. Do you have your messaging? Do you know how to market? Do you know who your audience is? You figure that out as you go. And yeah, it's a process. And at times it's going to feel like work. But if it's important to you and it's lighting you up, it'll feel more like in flow and like you're on fire and you've got this unstoppable fuel, then it will feel like work. So those are my insights for today on Profit Amplifier Secrets. Remember that, success on your terms starts with your mindset. You got to be clear. You got to know what's important to you. And most importantly, you got to be willing to do it any way that works. So I hope that's leaving you some inspiration. Let me know in the comments below. Tell me, are you ready for a new set of rules? Do you want to make things more aligned and feel more fire and fuel than you ever have before? I want to hear what's up for you. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye for now.